This conference will now be recorded.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order on January 17th. We have 3 members present and 2 members online, Jonah Garing and Dave Mueller.
Okay.
And we have comments. I don't see anything.
No, I see no public comments.
Go to agenda approval. Just the minutes of last meeting.
So on the agenda,
Yep. What agenda? Yeah. We're going to add the security session.
yes, and then the county counselor will not be here.
You said the security discussion?
Yes.
And then after the bid process or at the end, in place of the county councilor.
I think that'll work great in place of the county counselor.
Any other changes? Additions? Okay. A small crowd in here today.
This is the field that you need to feel every once in a while instead of 5, see?
Yeah.
Say, for many years, this is what it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready to move on to administrative business then?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So the first thing that I had, and it was in your packets, I believe I have the minutes of January 9th.
Everybody had a chance to read them, and is there any corrections?
Motion to approve.
Okay.
Jonah Garing made the motion.
Second.
Second by Kent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
5-0.
Okay. I'll have you go ahead and sign those, Commissioner Crowfoot. Thank you. Okay, maniacal laughter is being muted. Okay. We do have some change orders. While those are going around the room here, just an update on our conditional use permit application for 1240 commercial. That will be scheduled for hearing on February 28th. So just wanted to let you know that. You want me to take one of those out of there? We can just
Okay.
move one of those chairs.
Oh, no, it's all right.
Okay.
Protest that one.
Back in here again.
That's it.
Is that it? Oh, I can't wait for the big gush. to
Waiting
come.
for some more, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to mention that we, the county inventory, that was collected, is now on file in my office per state law. I did send you out electronic copies of the signed inventory sheets for each department. That statute also indicates that the Board of Commissioners is responsible for verifying that those items are actually located where they say they are. So the time from now until that is officially approved at the end of February, you can use that time if you wanted to go check in on any department and have them show you any items on that list. Okay? Any questions about that?
Thank you for doing that. That's easier than paper and.
Yes, well,
Like a spot checking.
right, a spot check is a recommendation of the auditors, and it is actually in the statute that it's the commissioners that get to actually verify the inventory. So we haven't always, in the past, we just kind of kept doing it the way it was done previously, and then we realized last year that our time frame for doing it was just a little bit off, and then the process was a little bit off if we were gonna follow that statute to a T. So we just made a little adjustment so that we could be more in compliance with that.
Lots of items.
Yes, there are. We, commissioners, we did a thank you card for the little Christmas candy from the engineering firm that you, so I thought I'd let you sign this, those of you that are here.
I put on there, we expect that monthly.
I wouldn't recommend doing that.
Imagine Jody's seat.
Yeah, I
Had a
could
big-
come up there.
had a big desk.
I should have done that. I didn't even think about it.
We do have some early checks. The information was in your packet, and the total amount is $5,540.09.
I'll make a motion that we approve those for $5,540.09.
I have a question.
Okay?
Was that a bid amount on that remodel?
You had authorized up to a certain amount.
Well, I knew we'd taken some action, but I couldn't
Mhm.
quite remember how we did that.
Yes, and that is part of what was, what was encumbered as well, so.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
All right, and if I could get signatures on that. Commissioner Gehring and Commissioner Mueller, if it's okay, since you were in on that motion and vote, I'll go ahead and use your stamps.
Please do.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that on the 23rd, which is next week, we have that hearing about that vacation for that bridge out on Eagle. So it would be, part of that is for you all, the commissioners are supposed to view that. So between now and then, we'll have a document that says that you went out and looked at it. So if you all could make sure that if you haven't already looked at it, that you go out and look at it between now and then so that we can.
What's the exact location?
What's that?
What's the exact intersection that I want to go to?
I can give that to you.
She'll have to give it to you. It's, you have to come, best way to get to it is come back off, east off of Diamond,
East off Diamond?
mile. And then-
Okay, it is.
Go to Lehigh, go Diamond.
Go north of Lehigh, 2 miles, is it 1 mile or 2 miles? Yeah. Once you get to
Well,
that,
it's just.
You got a flat book?
Yeah, I can show you on the map. It's south of 230th
South
on,
of 230th.
Yeah.
on Eagle.
Eagle.
And it's that, it crosses that creek that's in the, up there.
Okay.
And I can give you a map.
Got it.
Okay,
So Eagle 230th south.
yeah, south of 230th.
Do it when it's dry.
Today's the day. Today's the day. Yeah.
Might not be tomorrow.
No, may not be tomorrow.
We did put an ad in the paper and out on Facebook for the Planning Commission for District 3.
Okay.
Also, we're gonna still need a determination from the county councilor regarding whether or not District 7 is able to serve again.
Okay.
So, I haven't had any, we put your phone number on it, I do
Good,
believe,
good,
but I
thank
haven't
you.
had
Good.
anyone contact our office yet. Okay. And then all of the rest of mine involves executive session, and I think we have those scheduled later in the meeting. So as far as just administrative, I don't believe I have anything else.
So we'll move on to the sheriff.
Yeah. As long as we got Tina's approval. Are you done?
I'm
Okay.
good, yep.
Well, I beg my pardon. I am, been up since yesterday at 5:30 this morning. Yesterday morning, we've had a little prairie incident we're still hanging on to. It's backfired in our laps, so. I had 2 positions open. I filled both positions. Steven Jansen wants to come over. I need a clear, I'd like to give him $23.10 an hour. He's got 16 years of experience.
Did you bring that, excuse me, did you bring that salary sheet over? Okay. I can have Cherry print a new one.
That would be
Okay.
fine. I've been dealing with Reggie all night, so. Unless
Is
he
that the
matters.
one you sent us?
No,
don't think
I didn't
it's
see
there.
any. Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, sorry.
No, you're fine.
That was the first position.
Yeah, the second position was Bruce Burke, wants to come over. I'm good with that, and I'd like to bring him at the same pay range.
Is he gonna also be an investigator?
No, he's just gonna come in as a road detective, but he's got 23 years of experience. So I think you've got to pay him a little bit for his experience.
Where's he coming from?
He's retired chief of police at Peabody.
Oh, good.
Okay, oh, I knew the name was familiar.
So that is my request for the pay. If I'm missing something on it, I'm about half out of this.
I'd have to look on the pay plan to see
Oh, I know.
where that, so if he's considered a deputy, what step that puts him at.
Okay.
But the investigator position, in your packet, there is a job description
That's
with some
fine.
revisions.
Right.
The only change is changing from criminal investigator to detective, just changing the title. And so we would need approval of that change from the board.
Yeah, I'm not asking.
So
for it to
moved.
be-
Okay, Did you hear that?
Yes,
I'm not,
Kent was seconded.
Okay. So you have a
All
motion. and a
those in
second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Good, 5-0.
Okay, so that will be updated, and instead of calling it a criminal investigator, we'll call it a detective. And so that's the position that Stephen Jansen is being hired
Yes.
for, is
Yes.
detective, and I think you have one other that's in your department.
Does that just
Correct.
give, that just make it a broader brush then?
the detective spot,
Yeah.
no, well, I think it makes it more pinpoint. We're all investigators, that's our job. I mean, I've always hated that terminology from the beginning. I mean, when you put the badge on, you investigate everything. Detective's a little bit more pinpoint. He's gonna be directed more into the, I want him to concentrate on, property crimes. We have the detective for the sex crimes and stuff, so I want him to be more on the property side of things.
And Bruce, what will he be doing?
He's gonna come in as a road deputy right now. I do have a sergeant position open that eventually I will be filling,
Okay.
once I do some assessments.
What's the start date for him?
February 6th, I believe, is when he wants
On
to
that
start.
one, it would be good if we could get the salary sheet together, so I know what, so the board is aware of what step he will be on
Okay.
for that position, within the range.
Well, and that's why I want to definitely start Stephen at the 2310 range.
And that
I can
one
get-
is definitely within the range for detective, and it is above step 4, which requires actual approval from the Board of Commissioners. I can't just manually approve that.
Okay.
So
we
moved.
would- yeah. So we need a motion and a vote to approve that pay level for that employee.
We've got a motion, I'll second.
And Jonah, did you motion it, Jonah?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay.
I would like to make the board aware that Bruce Burke lives out of our county.
Yep.
I've already heard about this, and there's already some discussion about same thing that City of Peabody didn't do they furnished a car to go that far too, so, which is 2 or 3 miles out of the county.
I think it's actually a mile and 3/4 miles.
Okay, yeah, 2 to 3.
Across the
something like
county
that.
line.
But will he be taking a patrol car with him?
Yes, he will. Yeah.
Have we had any instances of that in the past, Randy, that you know of?
Not out county.
I know with paramedics and
Yeah.
stuff, we do.
Yeah.
I just didn't know with the sheriff department if we'd had any.
Right, no,
Well,
we
they
haven't.
take cars home, don't they?
Huh?
But,
All the sheriff deputies.
yes, we do.
Yes,
We
but
all
this,
take
this one lives out of the county.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was a different situation or not.
Just bring it up so you know it.
Yes.
It's not a good thing, but it's what it is.
What's the climate is with every other county's
Yeah.
doing the same thing,
Right.
stealing from each other.
Let me see if I can get that salary sheet first, Officer Jansen printed off real
Okay.
quick, since that's approved, they can sign
Okay.
off on that. And then we'll have one ready for next meeting for, Officer Burke.
Okay.
And then you all can take action at that time. Does that
Works
work?
for me, yep.
Okay.
See if it's starting right away
It starts tomorrow.
tomorrow, okay?
Yeah. He was on call for us the last couple of days just because we've been getting hammered.
We have the dogs straightened out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When patrol officers start their shift, do they always report in first, or do they just go out?
They just go out. They go 10-8, so we can go 10-8, which is on duty from our radio, and then they log in, see that turn
Okay.
on. Or they log in on their phone, like we're one of the employee departments that log in by phone for our time.
I don't have it here. I'll have to get it from Cherry when she gets back from lunch. So.
Okay. Any questions of me?
Good job on getting all positions filled.
That's kudos to you guys. You guys were able to bring that wage up, and that's I'll be honest with you, it's got a game warden to put an act in. He's not from around here, so, yeah, we're starting to see a lot.
So we're fully staffed in now.
Yeah, I got one guy in the academy still, he'll graduate, beginning of February.
Right.
But yeah, this will fully staff us for as.
Well, that's a good thing. Hadn't been for a while.
As the road goes.
The two officers that you put on, you gotta look a little bit at 14 weeks now, or 16 weeks, it's academy.
16 weeks.
16 weeks of academy that you pay for,
For new guy.
that's 4 months that you
Mhm.
pay for the new guy. And both of these, you don't have to do that.
On those that we send to academy, are we still just requiring they have to stay with us a year?
There's actually no requirement. The deals with the state is if they don't stay within a year, let's say if another agency hires them instead of us, then that agency is required by state statute to reimburse the
Well,
county.
that's by
for-
state statute.
Yeah, to reimburse the county for his
And
training.
I'm just wondering if do we need to have something in effect to try to retain?
I don't know if you can or not.
I don't think you really can. I think it's been researched before. The only thing that most agencies enforce is if you hire out and you don't stay within, let's just put a 6 month or a 1 year time frame on it, they make them repay certain equipment items back for what they purchased for them. So if we have to purchase a gun belt and all the other stuff for them, like a vest and everything, they sign a contract stating if they don't stay for that year, then they have to reimburse the money back to the county for those items.
Are we buying guns and giving to our officers?
We have guns.
I was gonna say, they're still county property.
Yes, so I give my guys an option. I'm a Glock guy, county owns Smith and Wessons. There's nothing wrong with that firearm. I carry a Glock. Some of the guys have chosen to carry a Glock, and they understand that if they go out and buy a Glock and they carry it, they will qualify just like they would be with a department-owned gun. But if they're in an incident, that gun is gonna go into evidence, and they're not gonna get it back until the case is closed. So they understand that going into it. If that were to happen, then they would either buy another one or they'd be issued a Smith & Wesson. We furnish the firearm and the holster for that firearm. My only requirement is that if they wanna go out and buy a Glock to carry or another brand that's approved by us, they have to have, we call it a triple retention holster. They can't just have it slid into a pouch or something. They've gotta have basically, it's gotta have a button on it on one side, it's gotta have a motion to move it back, and then it's gotta have a hood over the top of it. So that way it can't just be taken out of your holster away from you. Other than that, uniform items are expensive, but the vest is my concern. I don't wanna go out and buy somebody a $700 bulletproof vest, and they walk out of the office in a year, I'm sitting there with the vest that hopefully maybe the next guy will fit into, the next guy won't. We're doing pretty good on those right now.
You said something there, and I couldn't remember when they first come out, that's when they start doing this year thing, and if somebody just quit, what you was getting at, Kent, is if we had an officer here quit right before he got, and he was already, I don't think he stayed his, or he just quit the school academy. And I was thinking, is there anything to that effect if they just quit the academy?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
I was, and who I'm thinking of was from Peabody, and he was passing with above grades.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
He was actually let go. Because he was applying, if it's the same one, he was applying for jobs while he was in the academy to other agencies.
No, not this.
Okay.
No, he was.
I don't know which one that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, I was trying to think whether there was any reimbursement for the city, county at that time if they just quit. That's what I was getting at.
We just gotta be real careful
Mhm.
and check them out beforehand, make sure they're committed.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the money to me, it's the retention.
Yeah.
Please commit, if we're gonna send you through, commit to us for, I think 1 year is way too short.
Yeah, the only problem we run into is, you'll be getting, if you do get somebody, if you were to go a 2-year contract and you get them to come in, you know, you'll have them for 2 years. But you might lose somebody who doesn't know they want to stay until they come to work. So they'll, like, I'm not doing a 2-year contract,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay
Yeah.
away from it.
Yeah.
That's what other agencies, you're almost in a trick bag with it. You've really gotta do really good interviews with them and make sure that.
That's, yeah, to me, 2 years is nothing. Of course, that shows how old I am.
That's all I have. I don't think I have anything else.
No, if you happen to find that and
I got it on
bring
me.
it over, then we'll get it done. Otherwise, I'll have Cherry print it off when she gets back from lunch. These guys can sign it, and then we'll probably have to get you to re-sign it.
Okay, all right, I appreciate
Either way
it,
is
Tina,
fine.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Glad everything's under control.
Well, we'll see. I can get a guy out of Prairie View and I'll be good.
Okay, is Marcy,
Yeah, she's out there.
People missing.
They're online. Marcy.
Missing in action,
Oh,
but they're
all right.
watching you.
Okay, fantastic.
don't say anything bad.
Nope, I'm live.
They're right behind you.
Okay. All right, I am here. I went and got the computer bids as requested for the emergency management computer, which I believe you received, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I did do a comparison chart for you. I didn't know if any of you were kind of tech savvy, so I put the tech specs on it as well so you could see that. The recommendation from Great Plains was to go with the HP, and that's why it's highlighted on there, and that was based on the fact that you can go from 8 gigabytes to 16 gigabytes and only pay $160, which he thought that was very big. The ports on it, because I'm mobile and I don't have a desktop computer, I usually have a lot of ports in my laptop to hook up HDMI cables when we do storms and stuff like that, and EOC and other connections on my computers. So, and then of course the price for the HP was pretty good. So the main reasons were the 165 is you get double the RAM, and they're also in stock. The HPs are in stock, the other two would have to wait. So, are there any questions or?
I'd make the motion to go with that HP at $2,365.11.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. Yeah, in stock's a big thing.
Yes, yes, a very big thing, because the computer I currently have is the health department's, so I gotta give it back. So, otherwise, did you guys have any questions or any other information you wanted from me?
I put the transition plan in the packets just
Yeah.
so the commissioners
Oh.
would have that, so
Okay.
I didn't know if you need to talk about that at all, but that is just in there for your reference as far as what looks like will be upcoming for the department.
You're comfortable with that?
Yes, yes, I spend a lot of time in, which you probably see my truck there, but I spend a lot of time in the sheriff's office. So, it was nice of Jeff to say, you know, we'll find you someplace. And from 90% of the storms anyway, I'm sitting in dispatch, so it just makes it easier. And because I am mobile, I can, I can move that stuff. And then they have some, the extension office has agreed to let me store things from the health department office in that extra warehouse space that they have.
But
So-
you already have some stuff there.
Yes, yes, I do. The water's there, the drive-through tents are there. A lot of the stuff that had to be moved out of Randy's office, the stuff that's 5 years or older that we still have to keep, but It doesn't need to be in an office is there, things like that. And I think there's also some, like for exercises and things like that, there's some signs and things, so. And is that plan okay? Is there any?
I think it's great, because
Okay.
As long as you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I am, and then, because planning and zoning and myself and Road and Bridge were all moving together, it was just easier having the deputy right there, so then we'll move, you know, all of that at once. So when he starts next week, he'll immediately be over there, so we don't have to put him in the health department, then move him to planning and zoning, and then move him out there. He'll just be there automatically, so. And he doesn't have to be as mobile as I do, so that will help.
And you will contact the hospital when you're all ready, when you're done moving, so they can have it.
Yes, and I will, I usually try to CC both Tina and Krista on that stuff as well. Simply because, you know, I know Krista's not my boss anymore, but I'm in that building with her. So,
She's
as a
your
courtesy.
she's your partner.
Exactly. And then just because, you know, so Tina knows where I'm at or how to get hold of me, so.
There was some increase in rent for those 2 rooms when we got them.
Yes.
So, might, if you can keep on top of that.
You bet. And I tried to make it towards the first of the month, so then that way we didn't have to pay rent for
Right.
part month, or we didn't have to worry about that percentage type of thing.
Right.
And I did get notification today, I did get approved to go to, Anniston, so, I will be going with St. Luke. Did you guys let me do that?
Cool.
So.
Cool. Good deal. Glad everybody's going together as a group.
Yes, yes, it's going to be a really good training.
You have good weather.
Well, and I'll give you guys a report when I come back. You can choose whether or not you read it. I take a lot of notes, you already know this. But, I will.
We're not worried about that.
Okay, I will, provide notes from that training, because it is a week-long training. And that way, just to let you guys know what was she doing out there, it'll kind of give you an idea of that. And just ignore all the acronyms, I'll warn you, it is a FEMA event, so
There's gonna be a ton.
there will be probably a manual with just acronyms. Just skip that one, so.
We'll trust you.
Yeah.
Anybody online have questions, the 2 commissioners? Yes, not.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
See, Gene hasn't come in.
I'm gonna close this a little bit, just for the camera, it'll be easier to see.
Oh my gosh,
Hello.
we got a tremendous crowd here today.
Andrew?
Afternoon.
Hello.
Okay, January, new year for the food bank. So we wanted to come and I just wanted to give you an update on how our numbers is going and a few things that's happening with the food bank. Whether you get to eat, everybody gets one of those. I got one for you too, coming around there. As you can see, for the year of 2022, first column there, number of families. 3,398 families have come through the doors up there. This is duplicated, it could be duplicated because they can come twice a month, but that's total. And the total number with the kids, families living with them and whatever, 8,566 people for the year. The first 6 months of the year, we was averaging 552 people a month. For the last 6 months of the year, we averaged 875 people a month. So the number is growing. And it's due to a lot just from the fact that, you know, the inflation's up, everything's high, gas is high. People are unable to either buy food or come to the food bank and use that to buy medication or whatever. So it's a tremendous amount, and it's growing. It's not gonna get any smaller, I don't think. The numbers over there to the right is the total pounds of food that we have received. Like the first one there from the food bank out of Wichita, almost 83,000 pounds of food. The churches, 27,000 plus. Civic groups, that could be Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, any that brings in any food for us. We weigh everything that comes in. Total poundage there, 148,797 pounds. Across the bottom, I made you print out here each town and the total number of people that is coming from each town. So you can see there, Tampa is the only one that kind of varies. Don't see anybody very often, but I don't know why. Maybe they're all set good. Maybe it's too far away, or maybe they can't find transportation to come in and so forth. So you can see that. The other thing that's happening is Thursday morning or Thursday afternoon, we're going live on a app from the Kansas Food Bank that they've set up and so forth, which will, when somebody comes in, once we get everybody's name in there, we'll just be able to type in last name. It'll bring it up. It'll show us the last time they were here at the food bank. It'll show us everybody in the family, whether it's kids or her spouse or whatever that's there. Some people have other people pick up food for them. So on the form that they fill out now, we're updating all those, that we will have the name of the person picking up the food for that person, and it'll be signed in there so we can look and see if that's the one that's doing it. We had one instance where somebody said they were picking up food for somebody and that person never got the food. So, and we will check with them to be able to see, you know, when those people come in and do it. So, and we want to thank you for your support for past. We hope that we can count ours this year.
Did we raise that a little bit last year?
No, it's been 6,000.
It's been 6,000.
6,000 is covering everything.
Yeah, but utilities are going,
Well,
your gas bill's gonna be a whole lot higher.
Yeah. So, I mean,
We're burning a little more efficiently than we did.
Well, you might be more efficient, but
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
still
from what I'm hearing, natural gas price is.
yeah, and they're in
double.
they're in the act now, having a meeting to see if they can raise it more. So it's possibly, you know, we never know. But the two furnaces we have are both pretty efficient, you know, and right now the $6,000 is covering, you know, for the last 2 years we've been fine on them. So
With that bank that you're talking about, where everybody's registered,
yes.
does that show up if somebody picks up something in Harvey County or someplace else?
Yes, it will if they
They're
are
a member of the food bank.
Yeah,
Kansas Food Bank.
we're supposed to be able to see if they picked up someplace else. Not the same thing, so. But it's gonna be really nice, because right now we're doing it on paper, you know. They come in, we got a card, and we have to have the date of birth of every person and so forth, so we pull the card, and then that tells us how many's in the family, which indicates whether they get a 1 to 4 family or 5 to 7 family,
Right,
you know,
right.
and so forth. And so it's really great, and it'll be so much easier because we have to write down the name of the person and when they was in, so they can see, you know, they don't come back 2 weeks in a row and able to come in. We also have to know how many seniors, we have to know how many children, how many males, how many females, how many, what town they're from, and all of that. And then we have to this is what I've been doing, and there's another page that goes with this that I have to report to the food bank every month. This is gonna be able to where they can pull it up and see everything. I mean, we'll be able to have a map of Marion County and all the different townships or zip codes and see exactly how many people come from it. Basically what we're doing here. But it'll all be done, you know, online and work out so much better.
One question that was asked of me, do you accept product from people that's past date?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We can't pass
date?
Yeah, the due date on the, you know, that's a suggested date that's, you know, suggested date of,
Yeah.
that they, but
Yeah,
anyway.
because some of the stuff we get from the food bank gets past
Yeah.
due because they get it from stores
Right.
that delete it. And you know, if it's frozen, we have no problem with it. We can't take stuff that has been canned by an individual
No.
that bring in, you know, but
This was-
anything that's packaged, we
Okay.
can because
Okay.
it goes out like the next day, you know, usually when we get it in.
And if somebody has something like that, how do they, is there a certain day for drop off for that kind of stuff to bring it to you?
They're
or-
open Monday mornings, 9 to noon, Thursday afternoon from 3 to 6.
Okay.
My
And,
phone number's on the window down there.
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they can call any of us and we'll come and meet them there and take their deal.
Well, I was asked that and I said, I don't know, I guess I can
Yeah.
ask, so.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Has the food bank indicated that they're going to be able to maintain the amount that they've been bringing to you with all the need that's out there?
Well, you know, my order, in fact, it come in just today, hopefully it's there by now. But I ordered this month 8,000 pounds of food. You know, we're limited on the stuff. We get a shopping list every month, and we can go in and look and see. Sometimes they limit you to like 20 cases of this or whatever. And so we've been running out the last 2 or 3 weeks in the month, you know. We buy a lot of food from Carlson's down here. We get all of our bread and our milk and our eggs and that type. And when he has specials on stuff, we buy it down there. And we've been paying out probably $3,000 to $4,000 to him and also to the food bank. This month, this month, we're probably gonna be in the $10,000 to $12,000 of cost and stuff. And so it's nice. Debbie called me and said that Aetna Insurance give us a $3,000 grant, and it was just credited to our account. So now we got a $5,000 bill this month, but $3,000 less, so all the food we got cost us $2,200. Plus the Windmill Farm out here, I just got another check from them today, and every once in a while they'll send us, you know, $5,000 or so, and that's great.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
The support from this county and this community has just been terrific, without any exceptions. It just seems that as we're about to run out of something, Boy Scouts come in with a bunch of ours, a check for some. We've never had to go borrow money. We couldn't if we wanted to. Because we just not. I first want to say thank you too. Support what Gene's saying for the support, because when we give that information out, you get, really? Yes, they're supporting Marion County, and we're a good place to support, and our commissioners have agreed to be a part of that, and we appreciate that. Nobody gets paid at the food bank; they're all volunteer.
You said wind farms, are you talking both of them?
No, just the south.
Williamsville.
Homestead, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I know the other end is donated, you know,
Up
the
there.
different things, but,
Mhm.
yeah, but, so. And you know, this year, we had a gentleman from Hillsborough, that last year, he went to both twice, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And last year, and he donated $1,000 last year, both times, for $500 of food to be brought to ours and to Hillsborough deal. His wife died last year, and this year, he donated $1,000 each place. $1,000 to us for food for Thanksgiving and Christmas, also to Hillsborough Ministries.
They'll deliver it.
Yeah,
Cool.
so.
Any
Okay.
questions we can answer for you?
Same time, same date next year?
Yep. We'll be here.
All righty.
If you've not been in our new building,
Yeah.
and you need to at least stick your head in.
Yeah, I've been in there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
And I guess I would say if you get into a bind on utilities or something, come back to us.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Rather than we just saying, we gave you this much, and that's it. I'd rather leave that a little open-ended,
Okay.
because,
Great.
I mean,
Appreciate
it's,
that.
Yeah.
I'm not on natural gas, but what people are telling me
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
Well, I was talking to, what's her name at the library? Well, Bruce does their books for them, you know. A month ago, their bill was like $255. This year it was $900 and some dollars. Or this month, it's gonna be $900 and some dollars.
And you know, that's just, all that's gonna do is mean the numbers here are gonna go up.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure.
Because like you said, what are you gonna buy? Medicine, food, gas?
Yeah.
What's your priority?
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what a dermatologist do to a fellow that used to be a redhead when he had hair?
Yeah, okay.
That's me.
I just thought it was cat.
I thought that too.
Frying pan.
Knock some sense into it.
It's the upstairs, they're at MC Court.
Oh, announcement.
We gotta wait till 1:30 to, no, we already opened bids.
Yeah, we already
That
opened
was
bids.
just-
We can go, we can do this
We're just
anytime.
waiting for final
Yeah,
recommendations.
and if you wanna do that now, or you, I've got a few things so I can get out of the way, but it's up to
Okay.
you. Let me go?
Yeah.
Or which one?
Doesn't matter to me.
Let's
Are
go with you.
are we tied to a
No,
time on this?
you're not tied to a
So-
time on this one.
Right.
We wanna go ahead
Okay.
and do the bids. so
To do the bid on?
Yep.
Okay.
he can go on then.
Yep.
Okay, commissioners that are online, I emailed you the as-read bids that we received from Darren Neufeld, so hopefully you have those.
Yeah, I got them.
Yes, I got them also.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, okay, so this is a review of the bids we opened last week. Like we read last week, there was 5 bidders: Wildcat Construction, Morgan Brothers, Votes Pargus, Monkey Hill, and Andale. And on the form that I had Tina get out to everybody, the numbers we read aloud were the base bid column and the AA1 column. So what we've done in the meantime is I've added 2 other columns that are the base bid minus line item 3, which is your county supplied material, that base crushed concrete, and also an AA1 minus the line item 3. And so you can see basically no matter which alternatives or which way we look at these things, Wildcat Construction was the low. So my actual recommendation after talking to Bryce and everything is to actually at this point look at awarding the base bid minus the item, or minus 3. And how we would go about that, it would be to actually just award the base bid, and then we do an immediate change order to remove that line item 3. So in essence, right now that project would be $2,444,650.
I would make a motion to go with the recommendation.
Dave Mueller.
No, that was Jonah.
Okay.
Okay, is that base bid, is this using, what are we using for material base for the are we using concrete or anything else? the crushed concrete?
Your crushed concrete, if we do the box that's gray,
Okay,
if we would use the box that's white, the 2,675,000, that would be the contractor supplying the base material.
okay.
So in essence, if, for example, Wildcat bid $15 a ton for them supplying the material. That's more expensive than what we have figured is your own material costing. So if for some reason they would have bid $7 a ton, then we'd have been better off going with their base bid, because it would have cost the county less for them to supply that other material. That's why we wanted just to have that number out there for you guys to look at. So
Now, how does that fit into your trucking and stuff like that, or do we go hire trucking, or
No.
what?
They include trucking.
that's part of their bid.
Okay.
The only difference was the material cost alone, because the trucking to go up to there is almost identical if they were to go to
Harshman.
at least
Okay.
Harshman's or wherever else.
Okay.
So their bid includes them loading it at your location, them hauling it from that location to the project site, them placing it, compacting it, spreading it,
Yep.
doing everything to it.
We're not
You do
touching it.
nothing, you're not touching it.
Right.
Nope.
Everybody understand that now?
And that's the 2.444.
Okay. Jonah made the motion, did he?
Yes.
Yes.
Somebody else has some discussion? I'd second it.
Commissioner Mueller's microphone is on. Did you have something, Commissioner Mueller?
I was just going to second it, but Commissioner Dalkey beat me to it.
Okay.
But it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 It's 5-0.
Just one other FYI, Bryce and I have already talked about this. Wildcat is proposing a mid-April start, so which is real good. That's going to help us out with timing, because the only time we were up against a little bit would have been potentially fall crops. Now, what I haven't done, now it's time for me to go back and take a look. We've contacted all the landowners around through there. Now that I have more of a timing, we'll start taking a look at how we can help a couple of them out. Especially if anybody's, I think a couple of those fields in through there are wheat. So wheat harvest might be a little bit of a, we gotta help maneuver some truck or, combine truck traffic in and out.
And the big white top building, how's that work?
That's all fall.
That's all.
That's all corn.
Co-op has said they do fall crops only in that.
Okay.
We had that split, so it wasn't gonna be an issue anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the only other thing would be how fast now you might have to help Ag Services with
Yeah.
getting those roads.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Yeah, Ag Services and Bryce have been working on which road to keep improved on the south
Alternate
end,
route.
their alternate route into their south side.
Do you want to talk about the striping?
Oh, we put in here the bid, the adult 2 bid for that epoxy striping I talked about. The bids came in identical for whether we went with the multi-component or the epoxy. So there's no cost to the county to go with the epoxy. So we're recommending, when we get to that point in construction, we're gonna recommend going with the epoxy, because it will adhere to that concrete and be there for a long time.
Might as well get the good stuff.
But there's no cost upcharge to that, so we'll just handle that during
4-inch?
construction. Yes. The road's narrow enough, we didn't wanna go wider. We didn't wanna,
Yeah.
so yes, everything is 4-inch. 4-inch double yellow, centers where there's a double 4-inch white edge.
Good deal.
Right?
And we don't have any issues with the substation.
No, I contacted them. I told him, I said the only problem would be was maybe if we were working around that intersection or whatever else, but unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, we make it work.
I'm sure Wildcat, if it's an emergency,
Yeah.
will look at it.
We do, if we had to, we could probably get them access somewhere on the east side or whatever else. Like I said, emergency, they're gonna go wherever they need to.
We're not really working that far down the old highway. It's just past the radiuses, so
Yeah.
it's not like we're gonna totally have the substation blocked off.
Right. Go ahead.
The intersection you will shut down at some
Yep.
time?
Yes.
And that's where we've set down, was it 30?
I think it's 20 calendar days.
Yes.
Is all that intersection. The east-west traffic can only be
East-west
closed for 20 calendar
Yeah.
days. And now, depending on what our next process will be, we'll sit down with Wildcat and let them start looking at some dates on the calendar. That doesn't have to be the first thing on the project. We could actually start working towards it and have that sometime in May or June. It's gonna kind of be, depends on what works best for them.
Then Mother
and you
Nature,
guys.
Mother Nature,
Well, exactly.
be a pain in the butt.
You work with the schools and did different events.
We'll let them know, but I don't know of any
what's
events that are
going
gonna,
on, yeah.
I don't think that'd be any problem from the school side.
No. We work
Is
with
it all-
them. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it all worked out with KDOT?
We've checked with KDOT, there's nothing we have to do with KDOT, other than to just let Joe know when it's gonna happen.
Okay, I just, sometimes they don't want to help out on those approaches, so I just.
Well, we're gonna be, we're 90 feet away from the traveling lanes.
Yeah. The only place that they would come in to work there is right at the intersection of 56, and they've got concrete returns all the way around that we're gonna butt up to. So that will not affect them in any
Okay.
way.
We checked on their permitting processes and everything, and there was an access piece that we had to file for, but it wasn't like a full-blown permit.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I think we have everything covered. Like I said, so.
Not bad for Mike.
No change orders.
Well, other than this first one to
The first one to reduce
the. Right. Yeah. Well, and I will tell you, and basically I've worked with almost all these other contractors except for Morgan Brothers, but I think we get Class Act contractor.
If you haven't heard of Wildcat, there's a slight change that's happened in the industry here in the last 6 months. A couple years ago, Cornejo Brothers sold Cornejo. Okay, so they were no longer the owners, but then they turned around and bought Pearson. So they were the owners of Pearson. Well, just in the last 6 months, Cornejo has been sold, and they actually took their asphalt, and Pearson, the old Cornejo Brothers, bought it back, just under the name Pearson. The Cornejo concrete crews were purchased by Wildcat. So we're actually gonna basically have probably Cornejo crews. So if there's equipment out there that you see that says Cornejo, it's because they haven't changed the stickers yet. So, but that's Wildcat acquired the concrete side of Cornejo. So that's one of the reasons we got such a good bid price from them, is they're really just gearing up and they're trying to find a place to put their crews out on as soon as construction is able to get going.
Then is Wildcat owned by the family?
No, Wildcat is owned by
Somebody
separate,
else.
yeah, it's owned by separate.
Yeah, they, anytime you mention Wildcat, it's wild out there because Wildcat, whether it's Howard, Sherwood, or whatever else, there's 20 to 30 different companies involved with that whole deal. So you'll see a lot of equipment out there that may say Sherwood Leasing on it, which is part of that whole deal. But one thing about them, we will not be short of equipment if needed.
And any of these five, we have worked with, any of these five are on KDOT pre-qualified lists. So we're not, we didn't get a bid from a fly-by-night, no-name that we needed to try to stay away from. So.
And it was too large of a project for anybody in Marion County, probably.
Okay, so there's a chance, and I don't know yet for sure. For example, I know Head Excavation, which is Justin, gave Wildcat a bid to do the removal and base work. I don't know if he was there low internally.
Right.
But so we do have some Marion County availability. We talked to Davey, and it was too big for Dave.
And his schedule's pretty full already too.
He could have done it, but he wouldn't have been able to do it in the time frame we wanted. He would have been much slower.
Due to the amount of traffic on that road, that's one thing we looked at.
Yeah. So we tried to make it available to anybody, and like I said, Justin turned in a bid as a subcontractor.
Good.
I don't know yet if he was.
Well, he got it, but that's fine.
Yeah.
At least you had a chance.
Yes, he had an opportunity.
Yeah.
So,
Good deal.
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else from you right now? I will get documents back
Okay.
for signature. I'll I'll just bring in paper copies. Is that okay, or do you want
Sure.
it electronically?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Whatever works the best for you is fine.
Okay, I'll probably try to get them to Pearson, or
You're changing already?
I'll get them to Wildcat first, and then bring them in.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Okay, we want to go ahead with road and bridge, since we're way ahead of the county appraiser.
That's what I do. That shouldn't be long. Start off with a utility permit from Atlas for some work on 290th. Pouring under the roadway to put some stuff in.
Is that the sign this?
Yeah.
You have been doing a motion and a vote to approve those.
Okay, For
And
what?
typically you're doing the, moving to approve the utility permit and the numbers up in the upper right-hand corner.
permit number 23-1 for Atlas Energy at 290th. West of Lincolnville.
Are you making a motion to approve it, or are you asking for a
I'm
motion?
making a motion to approve
Okay.
it.
Is that the whole stretch of road or just a certain?
Just going under the road to it.
No.
They're putting
Just one
another,
road more.
they're going underneath the road to the north side because they want to avoid the power line on the south, and they're trying to put in a new, they're putting a pole and stuff over there, so.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passed 5-0.
Should be on the third page, right below where I signed.
Yeah, right here, and then just right vice chairman up there. All right.
Followed up with Bond. With microservicing guys.
Vance?
Yes. And they quoted us $47.25 a ton to haul in that material for, basically for storage, if you want to say, that we're not going to put in. Now, at 180 tons per mile, that would amount to about $8,500 per mile. Now, that's just their approximate guess, or their approximate rate that they would put out there. So if you're interested in bringing in more material, it'd basically be the $8,500 per mile, depending on how many miles you want to bring in, if you want to bring in any at all.
Did you get that proposal that he sent?
I did not get it, but I saw you responded back that they needed the bond and stuff like that, I think.
That's on top of the proposal?
Yes.
What's that? That to haul in cold mix?
That's to haul in the chips for stockpile if we wanted to do microsurfacing after we've done this part that we're gonna do this year already. We talked about we're just bringing the material to have it here, and then hopefully it would save on the trucking for the following year or whatever the case may be.
So the 63,000 on this proposal doesn't include materials, is that what you're
No,
saying?
no. That quote right there is for work that we've already agreed to, the 40 miles for this year. This quote that I had was just to stockpile material for use on a later date, if we want to do the
So
microsurfacing.
we're gonna do
That's in
another 10
case we wanted
miles.
to do that additional 17 miles.
Yes, we could do that as well.
Can you repeat the amount?
It was $47.25 a ton, and the rate is approximately 180 tons per mile, so it'd be about $8,500 per mile.
How much?
85.
8,500.
Yep.
And that's something we would need to have bid?
Well, this is using their trucking company to bring this in. Like I said, whether you want to do that or not. And they would actually stockpile as well, because I said I'd rather not have my loader sitting there and try to mess up the stockpiles and things like that. So I'd rather just have them do that. So basically, like Jonah said, you talked about what, if you wanted to bring in the material for the extra 17 miles. And Chris will
Over
take the- $150,000. Yeah. Or if you wanted to wait. Again, I just bring you back the number.
What if you couldn't get around to using it and then had to lay a year?
Not a problem.
Not a problem.
No, storage isn't a problem. It just like anything else, it's getting material here. Chip seal's the same way, you know, there's no problem with it sitting there or anything.
And this is for what we'd be hauling in was for this thing you did on 190th, right?
Yes, the microservice.
Microservicing, okay. If, for some reason something blows up and we don't, they quit business, they go out of business, then what do we do with the material?
Material will be ours.
I know
Well,
that.
but no, but my point is, the material is ours, we could turn around and, you know, get rid of it, see if we could find somebody else that would be farther away, that would be able to come in and do this. It's just that they're the only people around that do this kind of work, so.
Say, this is the only company that does it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We don't know what the future holds. I mean, I'd like to have it done, but
And
I don't
honestly.
want to be sitting out there with $150,000.
Because it wouldn't be done for another year probably.
Yeah, well, and again, unless you wanted to do it after we got the stuff done this year, again, it's totally up to what you guys want to do, but.
Yeah, because we have no clue what the oil price is gonna.
No.
Right now, it's going back up.
Yeah. What happens if it was so high we couldn't afford it? I mean, you know, the
Yeah,
other.
this double in price would be a good deal, but if it goes down.
There's no way you're gonna know if it's a good price or not.
Yeah.
Till a year
Well,
or two down the road.
yeah.
Exactly, I mean, we can speculate if we want to. Again,
Right.
this would just be the aggregate, it would not include the installation of oils or anything else to go with
I
it.
guess my main question was, I didn't know whether it can be used for chip seal.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
And the other thing is, we kind of stuck with the fact is we want to go with that lightweight aggregate as well. I've never seen this material used in a chip seal.
Well, I hadn't
Yeah.
either, and that's
Yeah.
why I'm asking.
Right.
It's sealed, I mean, it has
Yeah.
to seal down kind of.
Yeah, yeah. And again, here's the other thing, we don't have to make a decision right away, but I'm meeting with them tomorrow on stockpile locations at Pilsen and Peabody for the stuff that we are doing. So if we wanted to add this later on, I think he said they weren't gonna start trucking until February, but still.
It's next week.
Yeah, it'll be next month. But anyway, so I mean, if you want to think about it or whatever else, but that's what the price was looking at, so.
Well, why don't we put it on hold till the other two commissioners here, we can all talk at the same time, get some thoughts on it, unless somebody else has some other ideas.
Okay. Sounds good
But
to
bring
me.
it back up, right,
Yep.
so we don't want to let it die.
Yep, no problem. Lastly, what I had was I've been contacted by the school district. They're putting up a new scoreboard out at the softball complex and wanted to know if the county would be interested in use of 2 H piles that we have out at the county, out the south yard. They're about 23 feet long, to put this up. Now, whether that would be purchased or donated or whatever else, it's just the issue of using, the biggest problem they face is, and I don't know, obviously it's not new price of what these would be because they've been out there a long time. There still is value to them, but the biggest problem they face is not only the price, but the availability of trying to get something in. They want to try to have it up by the softball season. So just get the commissioners' thoughts on that.
So just to clarify, you're asking for, is it USD 408?
Yes, yes.
You're asking if the county is able to donate some items?
Yes.
And what are they called?
H piles?
H piles?
Yes.
Okay, so there's some sort of
Explain
Beans.
that to me.
Okay. Called H pile because it basically
It's an H.
looks like an H.
Yeah. It's
What they will
not-
do is they will dig a footing in the ground, they've got to be at least 6 foot deep. They will put one on either side of this and then fill it full of concrete, or at least the footings. The, being 23 feet long, they have to be, I think he said, a foot above the fence. So by the time they go with a 5-foot fence and then another fence, and the scoreboard is, he said, 9 foot tall, that's an awful lot of wind load for that scoreboard to be up there. And so they wanted to get something pretty substantial too.
This wood or metal?
These are steel piles.
That's what I mean.
Right. These basically would be the same thing that you put, drive into the ground for a concrete abutment for a bridge.
So why does the county have these?
We've had them for probably, maybe when they did bridges. There's probably thousands of feet out there, that different sizes and everything
Oh,
else.
we got a whole bunch of.
Yeah. I mean, we to say we'll never use them, I mean, I don't say that, but I mean, we haven't used one in 4 years since I've been here, and I don't know before that either, so.
Just wonder if they wasn't bought for like when, guy in Hillsborough was building Andy Bridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
could've
the
been.
girls.
Yeah.
Could've
ground.
been. Yeah.
That's what was driven in the ground for.
Probably.
With our
Like piling.
Yeah. So,
Guess I would recommend that we donate those to the school to help support the
Now,
baseball.
hold on there a minute. I mean, you do something for one school, we're gonna do it for all of
Well,
them. I think we need to find out what the value of them are first.
well, and again, they just, come in this morning and talked to me about it. I mean, again, and I don't know what they were purchased at. I would assume they were purchased way less than what the price is now.
okay, yeah.
But, I mean, I can find out what new price is, and then we could, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
figure out-
would basically be the price of the metal.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have to go do this in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could get something back by at least next week. That wouldn't be a problem, but.
I think that would be, give us the price so we know. and,
Okay.
You know, if they make some sort of offer to, you know, to buy them, then.
Yeah.
We can change.
Yeah.
But I don't know why you wanna give something away that we may use. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen out there, so.
Create goodwill.
Well, and I can also find out what the price would be for salvage, just to throw that in there. Not saying we take them to salvage, but that at least gives us a price. So, okay, well, I'll get back with you on that then. So, guess I didn't really have anything else unless you guys had something.
So this proposal from Vance Brothers for the 40 miles of microsurfacing, did you guys have that in your packet?
Yeah, we got copies.
Okay. I sent it to legal counsel for review, so I haven't heard back anything on it as far as accepting that or not at this point, so.
Where was that coming out of?
That-
Was that coming out of bond?
No,
No.
that was out of our, capital.
Capital
Yes.
improvement?
Well, capital improvement and bond are kind of the same, because capital improvement fund is where the bond proceeds are.
Right. It wasn't the $5 million in that bond for 3 projects. So. Okay, well, hopefully we hear back from Brad on that as well, so.
I don't know if the board wants to take any action to approve pending attorney approval.
So moved.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second approving the proposal, waiting for the attorney's final recommendation. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those against? This is passed 5-0.
Okay.
Do you want to follow up with Brad, or do you want me to, or?
I will follow up,
Okay.
and I will copy you, and I'll probably copy the commission chairman as
Okay.
well.
All right, sounds good. Anything else?
I haven't got a hold of Gilbert
Okay.
yet for piling that stuff.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm gonna
All
go
right.
ahead and get your signature on here, Commissioner Crowfoot.
Okay, if you need something, let me know.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. She came early, okay. County appraiser.
minutes.
So we have 2 commissioners online, so be sure and speak into your microphone and
Okay.
you can speak loudly.
Okay. We're currently in the process of valuing, for 2023, the index values from 22 values versus sale price. That ranges from 3% to 27%. So that means we're 3% all the way up to 27% lower than what stuff is selling for. The countywide study was 27%. So in areas that had an index value higher than that, we maxed it at 27. That doesn't mean every property will go up 27%. It just means that that's another option to choose when we're valuing. The residential study for comparables is on a 4-year study, which that kind of helps keep the values from dramatically increasing versus like sale prices. So when we do like the index study, it's only 2022, well, sales that have sold in 2022 versus the value of 2022. Does that kind of make sense? So just, I guess we're low, but everything's selling really high, so. The ag values were given to us a couple weeks ago from the state. The ag values will increase for dry crop and native grass, but decrease for tame grass. The state implemented a new 15-step table for commercial properties. In the past years, it's only been a 10-step matrix. So prior to this, we would only have like unsound, poor, fair, average. The 15-step adds like an average minus or an average plus, where we didn't have the plus or minuses before, which I think it really helped in the commercial depreciation. I took a lot of time when they came out with that and went through our life expectancy table for commercial buildings. In the commercial buildings is also your ag buildings and all your like residential buildings, so garages, sheds, farm implement buildings, all the way up to like downtown rows. And what I did is I put everything that was like on a 10-year table on a spreadsheet. That way we could kind of see how those were all being affected. And then when we did the depreciation, it was really easy to go through and be like, okay, well, this, and this are going to be affected because we don't always have sales for everything that falls onto those tables. We don't have a whole lot of commercial sales to begin with. That also helps eliminate, the expanded matrix also helps eliminate the economic factors. We started with 230 parcels that had an economic factor on them, and we're now down to 18. So that was a lot of late nights. The economic factor would have been applied if, like during a hearing, if the building was like an average, but when we tried to take it to a fair, it would have like completely bottomed out. So we could have put like a 90% economic factor on there to kind of get an adjustment that we needed. So with these half steps, it kind of eliminates having to use that factor. I know I told Randy this the other day. We did take, in the prior years, Peabody land and Gossel's land was always together, and we separated those out this year just because the markets are very different. So we did do that. So that's one new thing we did this year. We had 30 first half pups for 2022, payment under protest, and 1 2021. Of those were 7 grain elevators. I don't know if you guys know this or not. There was a hearing with Dodge City Cooperative Grain or Exchange, and it went to the Kansas Court of Appeals. They were able, the co-op was able to prove that augers, belts, spouts, all of that stuff is detachable from the building, whereas before the state always valued it as part of the building because it couldn't function without. This co-op was able to prove that they could remove it and move it anywhere they wanted. So the court ruled that it is personal property. So that under Kansas statute KSA 79-223, if any of it was purchased after June 30th of 2006, it's now exempt. So, we haven't held these hearings yet, and the state just gave us the addendum on Friday. So I've kind of reviewed, they sent us a letter to send out to all of the grain elevators for the 2023. The only co-op we haven't heard from is the one up north. So like the Durham, Tampa, all those. I think they're all owned by Agri-Trail. So that's the only, I assume they'll probably put protest second half, but Gary County Commission tried to appeal this decision onto Kansas Supreme Court, and it was denied. So that pretty much makes it.
So there's gonna be a reduction in tax?
Yes.
The co-op pays?
Yes. They are taxed, so all their buildings, offices, all of that, they're taxed like any other commercial entity. The grain elevators themselves are taxed per bushel capacity. So this equipment was figured into that per bushel figure, and it will now be obviously removed if the equipment was purchased after 2006. If it was purchased before that, it will now go on to personal property tax roll. I don't know the number of what it will reduce it to though.
Be a lot of money.
Okay. Carl thought 12 to like 20%. But I honestly, without doing it, I don't know how it would affect us.
So ag, farmland values continue to go up, but grass isn't.
Tame grass is not, native grass is, but from what I could tell, per soil, it looks like native grass is gonna go up like $1 an acre, but tame grass seems to be like way down. And that's figured, those are set by the state on a 7-year average. And they kind of lag behind as well because of how they get their data. We have no control over ag use values at all.
That was the 27% that you was talking about up top, first?
No,
No.
that is residential houses.
Residential houses, what you talked about there.
Uh-huh. That's a lot, I'm sorry.
It's all right.
I told you it
No,
was a lot.
it's fine. It's fine. Now, seems like they can go up. Okay, so these appraisal values that you're getting in, when will that affect the market? Next year?
These are for 2023 valuation notices.
Okay. Seems like state always can raise it when they want to, but they'll leave it there, and when the values go down, they don't want to come down to us.
So how it works on residential is, like, we have 4 years of sales for our comparables. So if we have a third year with high sales, it's just gonna continue to climb. Now, say that fourth year starts to go down, you're still gonna have 3 years of those higher sales. So that you really may not start to see a decrease until you have 2 or 3 years of declining sales. That index value could change yearly. That index value is done once per year on 1 year of sales. It just kind of gives you an indication of,
I wish the state could narrow that down a little bit. You know, maybe to 2. I mean, I know there has to be a period, but it seems like 2 years would be enough.
we can use whatever amount we want. We can only do 1 year, we can do 2 years. We can expand it how we want to, or shorten it how we want to. But if we were just using 1 year, you would be looking at that high 27%. And that was countywide. I had some cities that were in the 30s on where we were with valuations versus what they sold for.
I'm just afraid we're moving with the taxation, the way that they've got it set up. It appears to me that people that have small farms or smaller acreages are going to be forced off because of the tax situation, and the larger operations are just going to continue to get larger. I mean, it looks that way for the state. I mean, if you look at what's happening,
Right.
That's been happening now for
Quite a while.
20 years. But, you know, the people that own the, you know, family farmstead from 100 years ago are not going to be able to stay on it. That's my, and
make a living.
I think it's a quality of life thing too. I just, you know, I wish they could throw some of those equations into that a little bit, which they don't. You know,
No.
It's all math.
Yeah.
I know that. I understand
It's all
that.
numbers, yeah.
I mean, the mill levy could control that as well. I mean, if like our valuations are higher and you could always lower the mill levy because of the higher.
You know. And these are
Valuation.
comments for state legislators, not for you, because
I know, I'm
we
sorry, I
know
can't do
we
much,
know you're so
but-
good at math.
I mean, we do keep the 4 years of sales in there because it is bringing in 2 years of lower sales. Whereas if we were using the sales just from 20, I mean, we have properties that have sold for 50% of what we have them valued at. I mean, 100
There's
times.
no way that your system can value what's been going on this last year and a half, or 2 years on sales of home sales.
That's what I said, you know, if we kind of had a traditional 3%, 2-3% increase in the value of the land, I could see that 4 year. But we've got land now that sold 10 years ago for $1,000 that's now selling for $5,500, $6,000.
Yeah.
So
Supply and demand.
I will tell you that the ag use values, they are actually based off of rent and commodities and not a market value. I mean, it would be a market value of rent and commodities, but it's not like the 3,000 per acre.
Dave, your whole south end of Marion County, and I don't know about the north end, what's happening up there, because I don't know the. Yeah, I don't know who's coming in, but the south end of Marion County is being invaded, and it's growing because of the cities to the south of us is causing it, and they're buying just what Kent just said. That ground was worth maybe 1,000 to 1,500 4 years ago or 5 years ago, and it just sold here in the last 60 acres. Just sold it north of me for 4,600, and it's not that big ground, but it is smart ground.
It's got nothing to do with the ground.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's 46 acres.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gonna live on it this year.
And no, we went to the big farms, and they're just picking up anything like that they could possibly pick up. And I don't know what, we can't do nothing about it, but it's a price that's totally out of the ballpark for a young farmer to even think about buying 60 acres at $4,600 an acre.
Well, the issue has become finance.
Yeah.
Because this piece of ground sells for $6,000 an acre. The individual that wants to buy, or asking, the individual goes to his banker, and the banker says, okay, we'll get an appraisal on it, and we'll loan you 50-60% of the appraisal. Well, the appraisal comes in at $4,500. So then they're only loaning less than half of what the purchase price is, and it eliminates
Yeah.
those that aren't really liquid, flush.
And see, like this type of data, like if it just sold, chances are it wouldn't even be used in the state study. The state study kind of even lags like a year or two. So, you know, your ag, everything could be down, but you would see ag land increase on valuation because of that.
It won't show up for
7.
3 years.
Mhm.
It'll take a while,
Yeah.
but it'll stay up there for as long. If you remember, we've had this increase before, and they stayed up there forever waiting for it, and then we didn't get the decrease that we thought we might because prices have went up.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're chasing rabbits. We need to be talking to our legislature to see
Yeah.
if there needs to be some tweaking somewhere.
yeah. Well, thank you for the update, sir.
Yep, thank you.
All the information just,
My next thing
Okay.
is the treasurer's office received a letter from Lloyd and Marilyn both, and I think all of you guys did too. They gave it to us, and I did call them. McPherson County and Marion County are in the same ag district, so you could have 40 acres with the same soil type and same use in Marion County as you would in McPherson County, and it would be the exact same value. The only difference is mill levies, basically at this point. I mean, it could be, this is where ag land is difficult because you have so many soil types and uses. They could have the exact same number of acres in McPherson County that they do here, and it could be a soil type that raised their value, but it could also be maybe McPherson County decreased their mill levy, and that's why they saw a decrease. I don't know what Harvey County does because they're not in the same district. I did let them know that, you know, population plays a role into that, and if commercial industrial plays a role into their mill levies and possibly cheaper taxes. Their concern was paying higher taxes than other counties, but not seeing the same services. So I think they are in Jonah's district. I talked to Jonah about it, so he does know, but I figured I'd let you know that I did call them.
Good. I think that's going to the extreme we need to when somebody has a question like that.
So, and I did give it the letter to Bryce also. So, I talked with Alex from Eagle View about doing another training to include cities and county offices, or other government offices. They would do the training for free. That's pictometry. Alex recommended doing the training after we receive our new flights. So spring sometime. And then Shelby and I will be attending the conference in Austin, which is all paid for by them. So the whole expense is paid by Eagle View. I will be attending the legislative reception the 24th, so I guess if you have anything you want me to ask them, let me know. And that's
We can send 40 or 50 questions along with you.
Okay. That is, they did tell us, it was supposed to be from like 6 to 8, and they did tell us that the governor's now doing her state of the state speech that night, so. It's
Are you moving your times?
Yeah, our time's been moved up to like 4, so. How long they'll be there, we don't know, so.
County clerks are doing our reception at the same time. same
Yeah,
place.
see, Bruce called me and he said that, I think you and Sheriff, they're all at the same time, so. I don't know how that's gonna work. It's my first time going, so I also don't know how it works at all. Debbie's last day is Friday. And her reception will be in the hallway from 2 to 4.
2 to 4?
Yeah.
Does she have one here, or is it just over at the Legion?
She has one here and then at the Legion,
What time is it here?
2 to 4,
Oh, 2 to
and then 6 at the Legion in
Okay.
Westboro. So, Shelby has been training to take over that position, and then we did hire a new administrative assistant, and she started today. I think that's everything, other than I will need an executive session.
For personnel performance?
For personnel, yes.
Performance?
Yes. I think so.
Okay.
how long?
like 5 minutes, 10 minutes,
10.
10, 10.
Yeah, I move that we recess in executive session to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for personal matters and non-elected personnel with the board, Tina,
Nikki.
and Nikki for 10 minutes.
Second.
At 2:07 to 2:17.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, just a moment. Let me get technology going here.
What are we doing with the other two?
Just a moment here. Okay, he's back on the regular meeting, so we need to. Okay, everything's on.
This conference will now be recorded.
Record session. Make a motion for Brian Freeze and Mike Hurst to use their unused vacation before March 20th of 2023.
Second.
Joe the seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
Okay. All I got.
That's okay.
Have a great day.
You too. Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, we got, which one to defer to?
Did you want to go into security discussion or personnel discussion first?
Security.
Okay.
I move that we go recess into executive session in order to discuss courthouse annex security measures pursuant to Kansas KSA 75-4319B for matters related to security measures with the board and Tina for 10 minutes. And we'll go 2:20 to 2:30.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass 5-0.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I don't have Jonah yet.
There he is.
JG.
Okay.
We'll take action.
Right, so you would want to see if anybody has a motion coming up.
Back in session now. I had an addendum bid for the security system for the annex building.
Yeah, I'd go ahead and make a motion to approve the addended, quote for security.
$18,941.15.
Second.
Yes, sir.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Passed.
Okay. Then I have two different executive sessions for personnel. One is for a leave request, which is just a short one.
Okay. I move that we recess an executive session in order to discuss an employee's FMLA request pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for personnel matters with the board, Tina, for 5 minutes, starting at 2:33 2:38.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Randy, second.
Pass, and see you back at 2:38.
This conference will now be recorded.
Back in, out of executive session, I want to make a motion that we approve the FMLA request leave for one county employee.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0.
Okay. And then the last thing I have is an executive session for our personnel performance, and if we could go for 20 minutes.
I move that we recess into executive session for personnel performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for personnel matters with non-elected personnel with the board and team present for 20 minutes, starting at 2:40. 1 to 3 o'clock.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
4-0. We'll see you back at 3 o'clock.
Okay, everything's on.
Okay, we're back in the
This
session now.
conference will now be recorded.
We're back in the session now. Those decisions were made. I'm gonna move to go into executive recess in order to discuss personnel performance pursuant to KSA 74-4319B for personnel matters of non-elected personnel with the board and Tina for another 20 minutes. We're going in at 3:05 and come out at 3:25.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Pass 5-0. See you
Okay,
back.
we only have 4, but right now, but that's okay. Well, it's still past that 4.
Okay.
This
Okay.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay.
Out of executive session, no decisions were made. I move that we recess into executive session in order to discuss personnel and performance pursuant to KSA 75-4319B for personal matters with the board and Tina for another 20 minutes.
3:25.
Second.
From 3:25 to 3:45.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
5-0. See you at 3:45.
We've been holding
This conference will now be
I'm not up
recorded.
there on the picture, just you two.
I've been trying to move it around a little, sorry. You were on it earlier.
Was I?
Yeah.
Leave me off. I got a bad enough one in the Marion County Record.
Okay, we're on.
It's terrible.
Back out of executive session, no action was taken. Jonah's back with us now. Dave, are you still on the phone?
I'm on the phone.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay. So do we want to have any discussion in open session as far as, you know, or did you want to do any motions pertaining to the pay plan?
I think we need to drop the bottom 4 levels of the pay plan. I'll make a motion to drop the 4 bottom levels of the pay plan and add them to the top.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
So- Oh, hang on a second.
Okay.
Okay, Jonah, you just moved Well, if you move people from one step to another step, you've added a new cap on there. Because you're moving 4 steps to the top, correct?
So we had 12 steps before,
Mm-hmm.
so we're gonna take the bottom steps off,
Yeah,
lose the bottom 4, and if you didn't add anything to the top, you would have had only 8 steps. So we're adding those steps on the top end.
and you're gonna add some more money to them.
Well,
You're not gonna keep the same caps that we have here.
No, you'll have new caps.
you would have the new caps, which those are the amounts that are on the revised document. And so every position will still have a pay range. It's just that it's gonna start higher, and the bottom and the top will both be higher than they are today.
That will make,
That's what I'm saying. It'll
Make
give
it
you a
simple.
new lid for
That's
some,
correct.
it'll give you a new lid to go to, which we're looking at the lid here today.
it will increase it 6%, is that right?
Oh, is this the added lid
That's,
already?
mhm. If you look at it, that's the new,
That's the new, okay.
proposed ranges.
Okay, the old lid was lower then.
Yes, by 4 steps.
Okay, excuse me. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's okay.
I apologize because
Yeah.
I was thinking we was gonna add 4.
No, not in addition to.
Okay.
I've
Okay,
kind
John,
of
go
already
ahead,
done
John. I understand now.
that. Okay, so you seconded it, Commissioner?
Yes.
Griffin? All right.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's 5-0. You'll-
Yeah.
no,
1 nay.
1 nay, 4 to
4-1.
1. Sorry.
Okay. There are.
There's
there
three
are-
positions. Need to move, pay band.
So there are 3 positions that I would recommend would be changed from a pay band G to a pay band H. And those would be the administrative specialist position 3 for health, sheriff's office, and ambulance department.
Motion to go with the recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay,
5-0.
okay.
Motion is passed.
So then the only other thing that we need to discuss would be and that doesn't involve any specific personnel performance, and it also involves elected officials, would be to determine the elected officials' pay for this year, 2023. So we did budget 1 step increase in January. The board made a motion to do a $2 an hour raise. So I guess I need to know what the board wants to do as far as if we're doing the $2 an hour raise plus the budgeted step like you did for the other employees, or if you want to just do the $2 or the 1 step. And in my case, you did something, you raised my pay recently, so you may want to consider mine separately, because
You're the only other elected.
I'm just gonna say that when I made the motion, the $2 an hour, you gave us the financial impact,
yes,
and I'm just gonna stick with that, because we knew what dollar was and where it was gonna get paid from.
okay.
So
And also that did include, that financial impact was based on a 1 step raise for electeds in January as well. So the $2 an hour impact was on top of, was basically including that.
Yep.
So, did you make a motion, Jonah?
No,
Okay.
I already made the motion to raise everybody by $2, so I'm not going to alter that, so I'll just do that.
Okay, I'd like to make a
Do what
motion.
it's gonna do.
Okay, Commissioner Mueller's making a motion now.
Yes, I'd move that all electeds receive the $2 per hour increase and the 1 step increase in January, excluding county commissioners.
Could we have some discussion on your motion, Dave?
Once you get a second,
Okay?
I'll second that. Any discussion?
Okay. For county commissioners, I'd like to bring it up that I'd like a flat fee out here for commissioners to where it's a straight across fee, whether we take the insurance, whether we don't take the insurance. I don't know how many of us do, but I'd like to raise it to a certain number, and then if you want the insurance out of that, you take it out of your own pay. That way, anybody that comes in here in the future has a set pay, they know what it is, it don't change. It's just something that's, I've sat here and not used it for.
I guess I'm confused, a set pay.
It's a set number, and if you want insurance, you're still entitled to it, but you take it out of your pay.
What we do now.
No, you don't. You get county pays $500 or $600 a month.
Oh, you're talking about the total amount?
Yes, total amount, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of depends on what you want to set it at then, because.
Yeah.
I think
You're.
That's
a different time, maybe.
And I'm not saying that money should ever be an incentive to run for commission, but it is in every other county.
it is, exactly. And you want to preserve it, I wholeheartedly that. I just would like everybody to know when they see that, that's our pay. That's been a goal, just, right here is, it's about elected officials.
That had nothing to do with this motion.
Well,
So this motion excluded the board.
Yeah.
Is there any?
We could come back and
You'd have to.
make a motion for that later.
okay.
Is that correct?
We can,
Sure,
yes.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
Call vote.
Just a quick clarification.
Okay, is
You
that
did
legal?
not exclude me. I just,
We know that.
okay, I just don't
Didn't
want
intend to.
to, okay, I don't want to, I just want to be really
You are.
transparent.
I'll go ahead and I'll just give a
Okay,
comment.
so you've got
Go
your
ahead.
motion and
Okay.
second.
All in favor of raising the pay scale?
Aye.
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 5-0.
Okay,
I would comment on that in regards to Tina. We specifically stated why she got that raise. It was for her job duties to do it. That's the reason why she got that raise.
Right.
And so this is something else. Yes.
okay. Well, I appreciate it.
Okay.
I just don't want to be unfair to anyone.
No, we took the blunt of that, and we will.
Okay.
I mean, that's,
Okay. Did you want to do any, are you prepared to make a motion today on
Yep.
another point?
yep. I'd just like to see commissioners pay straight across at $20,000 a year. And if you want insurance, you take it out of that. I don't know what that means, but what you lose is your county's portion, whatever that might be, for 12 months.
But you're basically lowering the salary.
I'm still lowering the salary a little bit, yes.
I still think there has to be some incentive for individuals to run, even though it's, we've got one of the lowest salaries in the state for commissioners.
This figure was 10 years ago that I had, so I haven't refigured lately, Kent, and we're paying probably
Let me verify those dollars. Would you like me to
Yeah,
do that
yeah.
before you
Yes.
take action
Mhm.
on the motion?
Yeah,
Okay.
because there's been times that two of the commissioners has needed the insurance, and that's great. That's great. But just, it's a straight fee, and it's, I don't know, but we was paying down $400 a month then. That's where, for the insurance, somewhere in that fee.
Okay. The monthly salary right now for commissioners is $1,508, which is $18,096. So the motion on the floor would actually increase the salary slightly. And then the county pays for health insurance for those that are taking that. Just let me look at it for just a second.
It's an age thing too.
No.
I mean, the higher price, the
It's
older
not.
you are.
No,
No, not
We're
for
on,
insurance.
we're on a
Not for
group,
health
Group
insurance.
insurance.
we're on a
Yeah.
group plan.
Yeah,
So the county for health and dental for a single
singles, yes.
is paying, $866.57 per month, and the employee pays $67.25 per month. So I think what you're saying would be
So half your paycheck.
that
will go for insurance.
$933.82, oh wait, that's not right. It depends on which option, the county's amount doesn't. The county is paying the same amount regardless, so it would depend, so instead of the county paying the $866.57 that we're currently paying in, you're saying that we would not pay that.
Yeah.
And so that would either, depending on which tier
Quite a
the
bit.
person is on, would either be the $895 a month, $912, or $934, that would be paid out of the wage. Just so you have the number or
So
something.
you, that's
If
twice.
you, if you do that, you're gonna end up writing a check to the county to be a county commissioner.
Twice as much as it was back when we started at 866, so, well,
We didn't get a second.
let's, is anybody else interested in cutting a straight fee, and so we all know what salaries are?
I'd like to entertain that more, Randy, but I think I need to be in the room for that.
Okay, all right, that'd be cool. We'll just put it off, we can put it off, put it on, I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay.
Any other business or comments?
And the only thing I have here is the salary sheet for Stephen Jansen that just needs signatures. It was approved earlier.
Good. Any other business? Would make a nomination motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's a $10,000 cut, man.
Then go back to the beach.
What that comes to.
Okay.